Good morning, Andover. Let me add my welcome to our graduating students, families, and guests, our faculty and staff, faculty emeriti, and members of the boards of trustees. Parents and guardians, first, thank you for entrusting Andover with the education of your children and for the support and love you have given at every step of their journey. The pathways they have forged to arrive at this day are uniquely theirs. All they have invested in their intellectual pursuits, in their friendships, in the development of their personal values now forms the surest foundation for a bright future. Class of 2024, as we celebrate, we also recognize that your high school experience began in 2020 at the same time that my tenure here began, in the middle of a global pandemic. But don't worry, I'm not going to recount those days of struggle and uncertainty in all of our lives, but I will risk flashbacks and ask if any of you remember these. I actually think your accomplishment today is even more potent precisely because so much of your introduction to your peers, to your teachers, took place at home or in your dorm room framed by a computer screen. Your ability to get through that and thrive tells me that you have the tenacity to tackle anything that the world throws your way. So I will first state the obvious. You're graduating into an extraordinarily complex moment in the history of our country and our world. A deeply divided society, a noisy and disruptive election cycle, the ongoing backlash against and still to be determined reconstruction of diversity initiatives in many institutions, and an increasing focus on how we as humans are different rather than how we are alike, and not in a healthy way of shining light on difference that builds pride in who each of us is, not in a way that tells the stories of communities that have historically been ignored and debased, not in a way that helps all of us understand our distinctive life paths, but a focus on difference in a destructive way that is intended to reduce the other, to twist and distort the idea of diversity, to rebuild a societal hierarchy, a way that focuses on a return to a world that we thought had ended. But your generation does not have to buy into that simplistic narrative that drives us to take a side, to rank order humans in our communities. You can choose how you view this moment and your own state of mind as you leave this campus and enter into communities spread around the world. It is a gift to youth, your ability to rethink, to reconsider, to not jump to the conclusions that have been presented to you, to reconsider or affirm or even reject these ideas or assumptions or practices. This has always been the case, and that ability can and will make many of us, your elders, uncomfortable. So be it. It is the price we pay for societal growth and progress. Historically, younger generations have played an enormous role in developing and advancing solutions in moments of great societal upheaval. Key elements of the civil rights movements of this country that led to changes that allowed me to become the first African American and first openly gay head of this school. These movements were decidedly influenced by and often initiated and led by young people who were unwilling to accept what was in front of them. And the United States and the world needs you to play this role today. Unfortunately, many political and philosophical battles about education that many of us thought had been resolved are now openly contested. How did we arrive at a point when it is considered perfectly okay to dismiss the idea that diversity is good is perhaps the greatest asset of this incredible country. Even basic tenets of what education stands for and for whom have become polarizing. But you have the opportunity to decide for yourself what education should be. You can determine your priorities for what you hope to get out of your educational experience as you leave this historic institution, and our hope is that your time at Andover has prepared you to do just that. One of our goals has been to expose you to as much of the human experience as possible in a way that forces you to engage actively with that experience by exploring what it means to be human in as many ways, shapes, and forms as we could squeeze into your time here. Armed with that exposure and the skills that have come with it, we hope you will find your own way to personal meaning and joy. It can happen often in small but profound ways, and it may not even register until you've had a moment to pause and reflect on your time here. Maybe you felt this sense of purpose while performing to a full house in Tang Theater, or while playing under the lights of Felt Stadium, or while creating a mathematical model to address a city's housing crisis. Maybe it was a late-night conversation with a friend who got you through a difficult stretch. I saw you create incredible meaning and joy day after day on this campus and in the many lives you have touched. The human experience is so varied, and where each of us finds meaning and joy will be different. But we cannot simply hand you meaning or joy or really anything of value, because education as a pathway cannot be rigidly programmed. You know this to be especially true at Andover. We did not passively feed you ideas and experiences. We wanted you to seek them out for yourself by engaging, by exploring, by remaining curious. Education is simply a frame that helps you to find many things, including potentially meaning and even joy. But it also helps you to understand and survive suffering and pain and complexity, all essential elements as well of the human experience. Yes, we hope you find the good things that come from education, but perhaps equally, we hope you learn the importance of finding balance in your lives, and not a static balance like the image of a measuring scale with the weight on one side perfectly balancing the weight on the other. We instead hope for a dynamic balance that is measured over time and place and circumstances, knowing that at any one moment, the scale is rarely perfectly balanced. I hope that your Andover experience has moved each of you toward this dynamic life balance so that you can pursue and achieve your own happiness, your own meaning, your own joy. And my wish for you today and always is that you fight to maintain that stability so that you can navigate the challenging times. And when those moments of challenge arrive, hold tight to your sense of curiosity, your ability to empathize and to probe and to explore, and to embrace the diversity of the human experience as a glorious strength and a wonder. Just look at all of you. Class of 2024, trust that your Andover experience has prepared you well. Trust that knowledge and goodness you have developed during your time here now forms the surest foundation for what you will do tomorrow, next year, and into the future. Good luck and Godspeed.